What's going on, everybody? You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to talk about some Julius Randle trade rumors because my man Ian Begley had some interesting words about number 30. Then we're going to talk about Naz Reid at the tail end of the show because Begley also kind of brought up him as a free agent target. So we're talking Randle, also a little RJ Barrett rumors. Then we're talking Naz Reid. But first, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel here, New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports, because we're putting out videos every single day on the latest Knicks news and rumors, and we're also going live for the NBA draft, and I want you guys to be there. So hit that sub button, and let's sub for Knicks Dubs. Let's get ready for the new season. All right, let's talk about it. Should the Knicks trade Julius Randle or RJ Barrett? Ian Begley talked about the Knicks keeping RJ Barrett over Julius Randle. It was a mailbag article where Begley was responding to fans, and a fan pretty much asked him, who should the Knicks trade? And I thought Mr. Ian gave a really good answer right here, and really well thought out. He said, if the Knicks make a trade for a top player, it seems like they would have to either move Barrett or Julius Randle to make it work. If I had to guess, he's never guessing. These people don't guess. I think Barrett's playoff performance bolsters the odds that he remains in New York in that Randle or Barrett scenario. And honestly, I was absolutely shocked when reading this from Ian Begley. I have always said it time and time again. I believe the Knicks are not going to trade Julius Randle. I think the relationship between Randle and Tibbs and Randle and Leon Rose is a little bit too strong. I feel like the Knicks, I don't think they can get the value back for Randle that really he commands right now. I just don't see a world. I don't see it as much as I want it to happen. And RJ, the Knicks were dangling RJ Barrett in trade talks last year for Donovan Mitchell. So the report, I don't want to use that word, what Ian Begley said about the Knicks trading Julius over RJ Barrett just seems weird to me because last year RJ was in every trade for Donovan Mitchell. Let's compare, though, RJ and Julius. The last 3 years in a New York Knicks uniform, these are the stats for Barrett and Randle. Barrett averaged 19 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 42.7% from the field, and 34.7% from downtown, while Julius Randle was giving you 23 points per game, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 44% from the field, and 35% from downtown. So Randle really produced Barrett for the last 3 seasons. In the playoffs, though, that script kind of gets flipped. I mean, when you look at the playoff numbers from this year alone, RJ Barrett had a much better postseason than Julius Randle did, and that's really reflected in almost every statistical category. More points per game, more efficient, and shots at 3-ball better. And if you take out the first 2 games of the playoffs where Barrett really struggled on the road against the Cleveland Cavaliers, he had a much better postseason than Julius Randle did. I do want to say this, though. I'm just not sure RJ and Julius Randle are long-term fits together on the New York Knicks. I don't think RJ makes Julius better. I don't think Julius makes RJ better. And what Julius does doesn't complement what RJ does, and vice versa. And I honestly think that you're going to have to make the decision of which one of these guys is going to be a better third option. Because the Knicks are going to trade for a star. And they're going to trade for a star who is either going to be a 1A to Jalen Brunson's 1B, or they're both going to be 2s. And they're going to need number 3. And is that a better fit with Barrett? Or is that a better fit with Randle? I'm going to be honest. As a third option, I think Randle is a little bit better of a player. I think his offensive bag is a little bit deeper. I think he can create more in the ISO for himself. I think he's a better passer. He's a better rebounder. Where Barrett really shined in the playoffs was when he would catch it off the weak side in the half-court setting, one dribble and get downhill. And I just think that the offense, when an offense is run through Barrett, is at his best. Just not sure that a sub-league average three-point shooter and a sub-league average defender is the small forward that you want on a championship team. Could be wrong. He's only 23 years old, and I hope he continues to get better. But if you had to pick one of these guys to trade this offseason, who would it be? Is it Barrett? Is it Randle? Type 9 for Barrett. Type 30 for Julius. I want to hear from you guys down below. I'll say it again. I just can't see the New York Knicks trading Julius Randle. And that's why I've really focused more on the RJ Barrett trade stuff, because I don't think it happens. But according to Begley, it could happen. And maybe after the playoff performance, the Knicks view RJ Barrett in a higher light than they do view Julius Randle. But I do know this. The Knicks are not going to trade Julius Randle for pennies on the dollar. This Knicks regime, they value with Brock Aller. They want to feel like they've won every single deal. And I don't think that Julius Randle's value is really at the same point or at that same level that the Knicks value Randle. And this is what an NBA GM told Heavy.com. They said the Knicks are not in position to trade Randle because there's no way to get value for him. They have found a way to get him to be really productive with what they do, but that does not really translate to a lot of other teams. So that is always going to be where that works against them if they were to move him. And I honestly think Julius Randle's trade value is one of the most intriguing topics amongst NBA discussions, because the dude's a two-time All-NBA player twice in the last 3 years. He's a two-time All-Star. But man, he gives you headaches. And I've suffered from many of them. I'm not a Julius Randle fan. But I am realistic to know that making an All-NBA team twice in 3 years and being an All-Star twice in 3 years puts you at the top of the top in the NBA kind of power rankings, I guess you could say, in the NBA. And also, he's on a pretty damn good contract. Only $25 million for Julius Randle in 2023. Next year, it's $27.5 million. And then in 2025, he has a player option for $29 million. So if you were to trade for Randle and you didn't like what you saw after the first 2 years, he's probably going to decline that player option. You can wipe your hands free of him or trade him in that 2024 season. Well, I don't think you're getting a lot of first-round picks, or I don't think he has the most trade value in the world. I think it's a little bit better than some people are leading on. But where could Julius Randle be traded? We'll run through some destinations I think are likely. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are the most likely trade destination for Julius Randle. I could see a Randle for Cat swap and Randle being that power forward next to Rudy Gobert. So I got the Timberwolves at number 1, and I have the Chicago Bulls at number 2. I believe a Zach LaVine trade, which the Knicks would get LaVine, the Bulls would get Randle, is a possibility, no doubt about it. I think it's more likely the Bulls would rather get Emmanuel Quickley or RJ Barrett as the centerpiece of that deal, but I definitely could see a Randle for LaVine swap of some sorts. I'm also putting the New Orleans Pelicans at number 3. I think that Zion Williamson for Julius Randle swap with Quickley and an unprotected and a couple of picks could get the deal done. So I'm keeping my eyes on New Orleans, as he has played there before. The 4th trade destination I have for Julius Randle is the Toronto Raptors, whether that be for OG and Anunoby, shout out to Carl, and Anunoby, or maybe a Pascal Siakam switch. I think those are 2 guys that could be involved in a Julius Randle trade. And the last one I have is a little bit of a sleeper. The LA Clippers. Maybe this is recency bias. Julius Randle and Paul George seem like great friends. They really seem like Randle talked about in that sit-down interview that they've talked before in the offseason. He's learned some things from him and whatnot. Seem like they have great chemistry. What about a Julius Randle for Kawhi Leonard trade? That's something that I think could be a little bit of a sleeper, as the Clippers look for more health and wealth, and we know Julius Randle, he's going to be durable in the regular season. Will Randle be on the Knicks next year? What do you think? Game 1 of 82, will Randle be a Knick? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I want to hear from you. Also, an alert, program alert. We are going to be live for the NBA draft on New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. If you're not subscribed, change it and turn your notifications on so you can get alerted anytime we go live or put a video out, and especially when we're live for the NBA draft. So subscribe and join us on Thursday for our awesome coverage. I want to close out the show talking about a free agent target. Ian Begley says Naz Reid is a name to keep an eye on if the Knicks trade Mitchell Robinson or Isaiah Hartenstein. This was the full quote from Mr. Begley. He said, New York does not have many open rotation spots at the moment, so any free agent signing would likely coincide with a trade. The Knicks have 3 centers under contract at the moment, so it doesn't seem like they would have interest in any big men on the market, but it's worth noting that Naz Reid has a significant amount of fans within the organization. The Gerson Rosas connection lives on. He was a front office member for the Minnesota Timberwolves when they acquired Naz Reid, so there's some familiarity there. And the Knicks, although they don't have cap space, they can sign two pretty good free agents due to the available exceptions. The non-taxpayer mid-level exception is $12.2 million, while the biannual mid-level exception is $7.6 million. I wouldn't pay $12 million for Naz Reid, but hey, if you want to come play for 2 years, $15 million, Naz Reid, I'll take you as a Knick if we're going to trade Hartenstein, Jericho Sims, or potentially Mitchell Robinson. He's totally a different big man than any big man that the New York Knicks have on the roster right now. Naz Reid's got a little bit of a handle to him. He's got a little bit of juice to his game. This past year for the T-Wolves, Reid got up 3.2 three-pointers per night and connected on 34.6%. Last summer, there was a lot of talk about Isaiah Hartenstein being a stretch five because he shot like 36 or some percent from downtown, but he was shooting like less than one three-pointer a night. That's not the case with Naz Reid. He got up over 3 last year a night and connected on 34.6%. He's also a pretty good scorer. He can create his own shot and kind of from the free throw line down, but he's not the rebounder or the defender that Hartenstein or Jericho Sims is. But I'll continue to say it, and I've said it time and time again, a stretch five would be nice for the New York Knicks, opening up that paint a little bit because Randle, Barrett, Brunson, they like to attack the rim. They like to operate from the free throw line down and go to work in the paint. So a stretch five would be awesome to open up the court a little bit, but I like the Knicks center depth right now. I have talked about trading Mitchell Robinson because I believe if you're bringing back Julius and you're bringing back R.J. Barrett, really the only place left to upgrade in the starting lineup is that center position. And if the Knicks do trade, let's say Robinson or Hartenstein or Sims, I wouldn't mind bringing in Naz Reid at all, but I do like what the Knicks have cooking at the big man spot right now. So I want to ask you this question. Should the Knicks sign Naz Reid in NBA free agency? Probably going to cost you at minimum $7 million per year. He'd fit in that biannual exception. What do you say? Type S for sign, type P for pass. I'm curious what you think. As always, thank you, and I appreciate you guys for taking a couple minutes out of your busy day to rock with us here on New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. If you want to talk more ball, I'm down on Twitter right here at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up.